Hey, welcome to the Sports Reverends podcast. My name is Dan.
And my name's Drew.
We're no experts, but we are
the Sports Reverends.
Hey, the Sports Reverends are back, and we got the coach with us. How's it going, Coach?
Doing good. Holla at your boy.
We are all rocking our COVID-19 hairdos. There's a lot of flow, a lot of gruff and griff on our faces, and we are looking good. Now, let's get into some of the Sports Reverends news, the quick hitters that we got here. The MLB owners have okayed the proposal for a July start. The AHL, unfortunately, has announced their season cancellation. The German Bundesliga is returning this Saturday, the first major European soccer league to return to action. Two top NBA prospects are foregoing college to enter the G League. There's a potential restarts happening for the NHL and NBA. We're excited for that. Let's make fun of the new uniforms that the Los Angeles Rams have dropped. They're pretty good. And lastly, the words that have changed the world. At least back in the day when Michael Jordan said it. I don't know if it's changed the world now. But those two words are, I'm back. And Iron Mike Tyson says he's ready to fight at the age of 53. Followed by Evander Holyfield saying he's back at the age of 57. So boys, do we want to see Iron Mike, Evander Holyfield, back at it again? That was the first fight I've ever seen in my life. My dad let me watch with you, Coach, and my mom was furious about that because there was someone bit someone's ear off, and it was great. What are your thoughts, boys? Iron Mike, Evander Holyfield, you want to see that again? Bunch of 50-year-olds?
I'm going to say no. Boxing is boring enough as is. To watch two geriatrics go at it, like it's been cool to see Tyson's Instagram posts about him. Like,
I want to see you say that to their faces. You say that to their faces, all right? You saw Mike Tyson's quick hands. Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah, but doesn't mean I want to watch it. If he's gonna hit me, he's gonna kill me.
Oh, come on.
Sure, the guy's got some power. What if we do a free throw shooting contest? I'm beating Mike Tyson. I can tell you that right now.
I will bet on that for Mike Tyson.
Good. You bet and lose all your money.
I think everyone's gonna watch it. I would watch it for sure.
100%.
I'm not gonna pay for it. I'm gonna go to someone's house, hopefully by that time, to watch it. But
we're watching it.
I think just for the names involved, like Mike Tyson. Like I never really watched him box, so I just know him from movies.
Yeah, I think it's gonna get the same ratings as McGregor and
which was awesome.
It's good. I think that's why you're watching it. You're watching it not because you're looking for great boxing, but you're looking to go into nostalgia with these two guys. What do you think, Dan?
Well, when Iron Mike says he's back, it kind of sounds like he wants to fight like Tyson Fury and like those young guys that they're actually like they probably have like 50 pounds on them and are obviously a bit younger. But I just think he needs to chill for sure. I think I would only want to watch Iron Mike fight Evander Holyfield again. I don't want him to fight these young guys because I don't want Iron Mike to pass away.
What if he wins? Like, what happened? What if he wins? What is that? What are they going to say for the state of boxing? That some 50-year-old guy comes in, whoops some young kids, and is now the champ?
Or what if he dies and the state of boxing allowed a 53-year-old to come join in and let Tyson Fury and whoever else is good in boxing now?
Well, didn't George Foreman do the same thing?
Yeah.
At the age of 50?
He came back. He was big. Like, he was big.
I think he came back. He was older.
All right.
But I want to see it. No matter what the outcome, I want to see it.
I'm coming to your place and you're paying for
it. Done. We're going to Drew's. We're going to watch it. So the news around the NCAA basketball, I think NCAA basketball is a little bit in trouble here. There's been 5 top prospects that are NBA prospects that are foregoing the NCAA. They're going to the G League. what are some of your guys' thoughts on that? And I have a couple questions because I actually need some information on it. But go ahead first.
Well,
But
I heard some interesting comments from Jason Tatum today, talking about what he would do, his decision, and he said if he could rewind uh, to when he was coming out of high school and he had the option to go to the G League, he definitely would have thought about it and probably would have gone. But he also said, knowing what he knows now, he would have still gone to Duke. So it's interesting that they'll now have this option, but I hope that some kids don't regret their decision going forward. Because guys coming out of college, a lot of them say they enjoy the experience not just for the basketball, but for the school
life.
as a whole.
Yeah. I think the NCAA is in a bit of trouble. They've been hoarding this wealth for so long. And sure, you say, oh yeah, the guys go to school, they get an education, they get room and board and stuff. But it's like if these top prospects are going to make the school at least, let's just say at least $1 million. What's 40, 50 grand to the university to take care of them? It's nothing, right? And now there's new rules coming in about players getting their likenesses and getting percentage of the profits that way, which is okay. But if you're a young kid, you're 18, and somebody says, okay, here's 300 grand, you get to play with X NBA players and then go to the draft. I think that's a very tantalizing proposition. It's like a school of hard knocks almost, right? You miss out on the fun side of being in a college team and college lifestyle, yeah. But if you think about basketball as a business, this is probably the best way to go because you're going against tougher competition. There's more expectations. A lot of guys going into college are like, I'm number one. I'm going to come run this team. Where if you go to the G League, you got some guy who is maybe 6, 7 years older than you, has 40, 50 pounds on you, and he's going to do some damage. But you're going to learn really quick.
Yeah, for sure. I think like the benefit for them to go to the G League and get their 6-figure paycheck is gonna change the whole NCAA dynamic. I think from my perspective, 100% I would do that. And because then you're getting that's your full-time job, right? NCAA, you have to figure out classes, you have to figure out all this stuff. You have all your curfews and all that kind of thing, right? You're going into it. This is your full-time job. You're dedicated. Their bodies will get ready faster. They'll be way more league ready, in my opinion. And I think that's going to be trouble. I'm against the NCAA because they've just been a dictatorship for like a long time. And like you said, they've been making millions and millions and millions off these athletes. And it's just been wrong, right? It's just wrong. And I'm all for them going to the G League. But I think it's not exactly, is it just the regular G League or is it is there stipulations in that? I don't think, I wasn't too sure on what the format of that was because teams have, I think every team will have or already has a affiliate in the G League now.
Yeah.
And so I don't understand how it's going to work because players have two-way contracts and all that kinds of things. And how does that work come draft time?
I think if it's kind of like minor league hockey, right? So at this point when they first enter, there's probably going to be some sort of, from at least what it's been like, teams have approached players for workouts and stuff like that. So they're kind of like free agents going into that. And so they can be with whatever team. And then after that year, then they enter the draft. Right? So then if they get drafted, then they're going to probably get moved to a different G League team.
Right.
If you don't get drafted, then they're kind of still in that free agent limbo.
Okay.
That's how what I've been reading is kind of how that works. And again, like you said, only 5 guys have tried this. And I think last year there was a kid who didn't go to the G League because it wasn't available, didn't go to college, but he got a job with, I think it's Under Armour. And so they taught him the business side on his internship, and they also gave him like 12 months of workouts. He had the access to the gym and all that kind of stuff. I forget the kid's name,
Where
but
did
it
he
was like, huh?
So he just didn't play anywhere?
He didn't play anywhere, but he just had like the gym worked out, like did his own thing. So he wasn't part of a league, but he got paid to do that, got paid to work on his body, and he got drafted.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I think the monopoly on how to get to the NBA is changing.
Yeah.
Especially as athletes now consider their brand and their future outside of basketball as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of things will change. I think they might drop the age of you can declare anytime. I think that's in the future. And but
Because
let's keep going.
basketball,
Go ahead, Drew.
basketball and football are the only two sports that have it, right? The mandatory
Yeah.
Yeah.
college.
Yeah.
Isn't hockey?
No,
No.
because hockey you can play junior hockey.
Right.
You can get drafted out of junior hockey, or you can go play college hockey too.
Right.
Because college football, you got to be there for 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years for college football.
Which makes sense, though.
Yeah, I think that makes sense for college football.
All I hope, though, with this whole, if they're going to start paying for players' likeness, I hope the college sports games are back for video games. That's what I hope.
Yeah, that'd be incredible. And I also hope they find a way to make the G League more entertaining as well. I think that will automatically, but hope they market it better.
Yeah, because you don't have access. Even if you get League Pass, you can't get access to G League stuff.
No.
Kind of silly.
Yeah.
I think just one more thing is that we have to. The biggest concern is if you take away the age limit thing, is as an owner, you're going to be giving an 18-year-old, $44 to $5 million a year, and that could set back your franchise. That's the whole reason why they brought it in the first place, is because a lot of owners were drafting, or a lot of teams were drafting 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
And they weren't panning out, right? So I think it's not just going to go away on its own just because of the G League thing. I think it's going to be some time before that just gets pulled out altogether.
All right, I'm going to read the Rams legend Eric Dickerson's quotes on their new uniforms, all right?
Yes.
Starts out by saying, "I just don't like the stripe around the sleeve. It's not big enough. It almost looks like a lightning bolt, like the Chargers uniform. I don't like the stripe down the pants. I wish it was bigger. And the horn, man, it's horrible. I mean, it's terrible. I just feel like they really took away from the Rams uniform, and it looks almost like a Chargers logo. It looks like two bananas is what it looks like." And then he goes on to say, like I told them, this is football, he said. This ain't nothing to do with surfing. This ain't nothing to do with waves. This is football. This is a man's sport. And to me, it just looks soft. It don't look like football. It don't look hard. With that being said, what is your take? Let's start with Drew on the Rams uniform.
And, I love hearing Eric Dickerson talk. He's always on Colin Cowherd, and I listen to him rant about stuff.
Yeah.
That
was a terrible Eric Dickerson impression.
It was. I'll give yeah. But to be honest, when I look at the uniforms, I don't see much difference. That's just my honest opinion. When I look at it, it's what did they really change? Maybe I don't look at their uniforms that closely, but to me, it looks pretty similar to what it was before.
Do you see what's on their helmet, though? The LA, and then, it's supposed to be a ram horn around the LA, and it kind of looks like a C.
Yeah, but
I see that.
So it looks like the Chargers.
I get where he's coming from, but the colors still pop, and the new metallic helmets look good.
He did say the colors look good. Yeah. Before all this, he does say he likes the colors, and he was a little bit, happy about it, but then he went on this rant.
Yeah. From the viewing angles you get as a fan watching on TV, you don't care. Really.
Well, yeah.
I mean, for most people, it's not that big of a deal, I don't think. If you're repping the gear on yourself, then you're gonna have a perception of it. But as a neutral person, it's okay, blue and yellow, sure, that's the Rams. Okay, it's harder for me to remember it's the LA Rams than it is anything else.
Yeah, right.
I'll just let all Sports Reverends fans go look at the logo that they put out that's not on their helmets, and let them deduce that logo for themselves and see what's wrong with it themselves. So let's go to the NBA, boys. But before that, we're going to go to a word from our sponsors.
Train to Invest is one of North America's leading investment education and training corporations. Our purpose is to provide a new way for families, individuals, and communities to think about wealth management. Through teaching, training, and coaching individuals in the art and science of self-directed investing, we focus on a foundation based on capital preservation. Train to Invest offers a complete education and training experience, focusing on fundamental analysis, technical analysis, risk analysis, and developing skills for active trading. To find out more, visit our website at www.traintoinvest.com and download our free ebook to start your journey towards financial freedom. Again, that's www.train2invest.com and download our free ebook today.
All right, let's hit up what's going on in the NBA. The optimism behind it all is that the NBA looks like it's returning. We don't know how, we don't know the details, but the consensus between the Players Association, the commissioner, is that if there's a way, we're going to find a way to make it work in the NBA to return. With that being said, which teams have benefited the most from the shutdown? You can say a team or teams, whatever you think.
I can go first. That's not a problem. I think the Bucks, for sure, with Giannis being out, have benefited. The Raptors will get Gasol back and a few other guys who've had some little injuries.
Name them all. Just pick a couple.
Yeah, I'm getting there. And I think after the 8th seed, it really doesn't matter because all those teams are terrible in the East. On the West, I think it's tough because it's a lot of in between here. I'm really fingers crossed here that the Spurs will get it together. They'll have time to figure it out, and that the 22-year playoff streak will not be in jeopardy. But as we're sitting 4 games behind the 8th seed right now, and not that many games left to go,
I think like 10 or 11.
Yeah, I'm highly doubting. I think it's going to help Eastern Conference teams more than the West.
Drew?
Yeah, I was going to say Raptors for sure, just because I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, how many minutes Kyle Lowry's up there and minutes played and getting Gasol back, and that's going to be great. I think the Lakers, like LeBron getting some rest. He usually takes rest around this time anyways. But and also I think the Pelicans. I'd like to see the Pelicans make a run and get in there, and I think giving Zion some more time to recover from his injury.
They're like 4 or 5 games back. It's going to be a tough.
No, they're only 3.5.
3.5 games back. That's tough still.
Yeah.
So you're saying if they're healthy, a healthy Zion, do they make the playoffs, Drew? They kick out Ja Morant?
Oh,
I think so.
Yeah, for sure.
So they catch Ja Morant. So then you have to give Zion Rookie of the Year, right? At that point?
No, because I don't think it's just Zion that takes off. Like Brandon Ingram was playing well.
Lonzo is picking it up too.
I know, but like, come on. You got to give them Rookie of the Year if they make the playoffs.
Is that what you want me to say? Because
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that.
You still say Ja Morant will be Rookie of the Year?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I think just
I
on
agree with everyone except for the last part. Actually, no, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. So that's
He
just
said
me.
could. He didn't say would. He said could. What do you think?
Yeah, I think definitely Raptors going to benefit. Definitely Milwaukee. I think also the Indiana Pacers with Victor Oladipo
That's a good.
getting healthy, they're going to be deadly. I would not want to verse them in the first round, second round. Yeah, that's going to be a tough out. I think it's lined up that they would play Philly right away or someone like that. Someone check for me. And then I'll just talk about the West.
They play the Heat.
I think – sorry, who?
The Heat.
Oh, they play the Heat. Oh, my goodness. That's going to be a good round. I think in the West, I got to say the Clippers benefit from this the most. They need to get healthy. The rest for Kawhi and Paul George will just make them super deadly come playoff time, which is what they've just been aiming for. So I think it benefits them the most. I think, well, like LeBron came out and said that this rest is hard for him because he's in such a routine keeping his body that way. And I kind of see that, like, I usually would roll my eyes like that, but I see that when you see Kyle Lowry. He needs time to, like, get the rust out after he's been off for a while. When he's playing consistently through, that's when he's at his best. So I could see it's going to be a struggle for him to start getting back. But
one other one would be the Dallas Mavericks too, I think.
Yeah.
With Doncic and Porzingis.
Yeah,
for sure. Because Porzingis was on fire.
Yeah, he's ascending right now, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. That's a great point.
18 games left, okay? So there's still lots of time.
Is 18?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Like look at the 1-7 in the West. Like,
yeah, it's insane.
They're all over 40 wins.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
7th and 8th in the East are like below 500, I believe.
Yeah.
Both Orlando and whoever.
Well, we didn't talk about, I mean, it is, like we talked about it briefly in a different pod, but I mean, Durant is going to be healthy.
Yeah, but he's not playing. They already said he's not.
You know, they say this now.
Honestly, I would see him playing if Kyrie was there, but there's no Kyrie. So there's no point. There's no point.
When's Kyrie done coming back?
I think he's got a little while. He just had that big surgery.
Oh, right. I think it's an interesting question overall, is just the timing of coming back, because, like, you're getting paid to play, bro. You're just going to have to step up and do it.
I'm just kind of assuming – this is what I'm kind of assuming is like a July start. To have June for their 3-week training camp, July start, but that's obviously an assumption. Okay, so choose one team. Which team's coming out of the East? Which team's coming out of the West?
I'm going to go – it's going to be a very unpopular pick, but I'm picking the Bucks to come out of the East.
Ooh.
Yeah, and for the West,
that's probably the popular pick though around the world.
I mean, most for us Canadians, I mean, everybody wants the Raptors to do well, and I feel there is a chance the Raptors could do it.
Except Marc Poirier. Yeah,
we'll leave him out of this.
He loves.
And out of the West, I'm gonna go with the Clippers. I think just the depth and the pieces they added, they're just gonna be too much for the Lakers. If they could find a way to get rid of Pat Beverly, that'd be great, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Drew stuff. Who do you got coming out of the East and the West?
Well, I feel like all our answers are going to be – I'm gonna go off the board a little bit.
Ooh.
Not in the East. I think the Bucks come out of the East anyways. But
our
I'm gonna stick with what my pick was at the beginning of the year for the West. With the Nuggets.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay.
Because I don't think the Lakers or the Clippers have a real answer for Jokic. I think Jokic is a unique player. I love watching Jokic play. Like, he's one of the best passers as a big man.
He's the best passer on his team, I'd say.
Yeah. And they got some young legs.
Oh, their bench, they can play 10 deep. Mm-hmm. And you never know who's going to give you 20 on any night.
I think Jamal Murray is really underrated.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
He's going to be –
He's got
and Paul Millsap, too. Yeah. Like,
he is – you look up underrated in the dictionary, it's Paul Millsap.
Yeah.
That guy has been
on any team he's played for.
Every single team.
Yeah.
Well, like, he made a couple All-Star games, like –
yeah, but like he does so much for like Atlanta and Utah and now the Nuggets. Like,
I agree.
And Jeremiah Grant or whatever his name is.
Jeremy Grant, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a beast. When Millsap was out, he really stepped up.
Yeah.
And they got some young wings. And I think they could make a run. I'm just saying that because I know that it's gonna be Lakers or Clippers out of you guys, so
yeah, and so East, I'm going to go with the Raptors.
Of course.
I really believe in them. I believe in team. And I believe with a healthy Marc Gasol, they could stop the Greek Freak. That's the only team in the East I'm nervous about.
Yeah.
If not the Raptors, then it's the Bucks. But I'm going Raptors. In the West, my heart says the Clippers. My mind says the Lakers.
Oof.
So
Oof.
I honestly don't know. I think I want to say Clippers as well because they're so deep, and Kawhi and Paul George are going to be healthy, and yeah. So I'm going Clippers, Raptors. Raptors go back to back. All right, back to back.
That's such
Hear it
wishful
now, all
thinking.
right? Here we go. Back to back. All right, I'm sick of all this. Kawhi won the championship. It was the Raptors that won the championship. We're going to take another one.
Please.
Okay. Upcoming years of free agency. There's no franchise player in this year's free agency. So which teams are you most scared of for next year?
Scared of in what way?
Is going to be scared of in who's going to make the biggest impact, who's going to make the biggest changes, the biggest things. There are definitely good pieces out there, but there's no franchise changing free agents this year. So which teams are going to emerge and kind of make a splash in the league next year?
I think it's pretty obvious Brooklyn. Like, it's basically like they're adding a free agent, right, next year?
Yeah, that's fair.
Like two almost, because Kyrie's out.
Yeah, basically, I think
And a new coach.
Yeah, I think Brooklyn has some pieces. I don't know who they're all going to keep there because
They have so much, right?
Yeah.
According to Kyrie, it's only going to be Kyrie, Durant, and DeAndre who's staying. So
Yeah.
No, he said a few others, but he didn't say Torian Prince. Shout out Torian Prince for liking our stuff on our Insta polls.
yeah, Torian Prince.
He didn't say a few others, but
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So mine would be Brooklyn for sure.
okay.
I think for me in the East, Toronto. What they do with that Kyle Lowry piece is going to be interesting, because I've seen a few articles about him going to Philly, and if they can clear some cap space by trading away Lowry, they can be big players for
next year.
For Greek to Freak the next year.
So, but they're not going to be a big splash this next year then.
You never know. If they can do something with Lowry, they could get back somebody good. I mean, trust in Masai. I think in the West, you have to look at OKC.
Wow.
Chris Paul has kind of reinvented himself a little bit and kind of shown that there's a little more left into him, which could be an attractive trade piece. Then you got all the draft picks and some young guys.
Okay.
So because OKC is sitting in the 5th place right now, right? If you can flip Chris Paul for something and set yourself up for the next couple of years, because the Lakers only got a couple of years left. Clippers, you never know, because Kawhi could go wherever. Denver, they got some pieces. Utah,
they can basically just send them to the Knicks and take whatever they want, because the Knicks will take that giant contract.
Right. I think OKC is in an interesting position to not just set themselves up for this upcoming free agency, but for the next couple of years to be some dominant powerhouses there.
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty good. Well, yeah. I thought you guys were going to say this from the beginning, but we kind of mentioned them before, is the Golden State Warriors. They're going to be back, and they're going to be deadly, I think. And a healthy Steph Curry, healthy Klay Thompson at any time. I am.
Hey, you're forgetting with the best piece, though. Draymond.
Yeah. And Draymond's a good piece.
Another team I would look out for in the East, I know they've been terrible for a long time, but the Hawks with Trae Young and John Collins, like
all those young guys,
what they can do to build it, and didn't they trade for Capella?
Yeah, yeah, Capella.
Like that's a good core of
Cam Reddish,
players.
DeAndre Hunter, they're great players. They're
Kevin Huerter. Yeah. Like they've got a lot of young players there. I'd watch out for them. Maybe not next year, but maybe
year after. Yeah, that's a good point there, Drew.
And then the Pelicans. You got to say, I think Pelicans are going to take a big step next year too.
But based on just their team growth or adding somebody?
Just on team growth. I don't think they need to really go and make a splash anywhere. I think what they have is good, unless they flip Drew Holiday for something that fits, right? But I think Drew Holiday is like a.
I think Drew Holiday fits there. I like.
I agree with Ingram a max?
No.
Because he's coming off his rookie deal. He's gonna need to get somebody's gonna pay him. Somebody's gonna toss money his way. His thoughts.
I don't think the sample size is there yet.
Drew
But you-
Holiday is not on his rookie deal.
No, he's talking about Ingram.
Oh, Ingram. Yeah, you got to pay him.
I,
You got to pay him.
I mean, you have to pay him in the sense that where else is that money gonna go?
You got to pay him. Yeah, I
But
think.
like I agree. I would agree with Drew that the sample size just really isn't there.
Well, what's his averages? You guys got it? Can someone check that? His
Mhm.
averages are good.
Yeah,
but
and
the
he was
games played
playing-
are
But his season this year has been like had a lot of mostly he's played most games.
but look at his stats since Zion came back.
Yeah, that's been a give and take, right? I think.
So for his one season in New Orleans, he's played 56 games
Yeah.
with about 34 minutes. He's got 24.3 points, which is good. 4.5 assists and 6.5 rebounds, which is good for sure.
Good. That's a good stat line. And he's ascending.
We
He's
hope.
learning how to score, and his body is hopefully getting stronger.
But yeah,
I would say pay that man. I think he's good.
I
Okay.
think who's the guy who got traded to Charlotte for from Boston for Kemba?
Terry Rozier?
Yeah, he's that kind of same thing. Like you don't really hear about him, but I mean that's because he might be in Charlotte.
Yeah, Terry Rozier has been kind of I expected a big year from him, but he's actually played pretty like
Not that great.
averagely.
Yeah.
Devontae Graham's definitely
Devontae
taking over
Graham.
that team.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
All right, let's go to another word from our sponsors, and then we're going to get into the NHL.
Samara and Jane is an Australian-based accessories retailer with all of the latest fashion trends from around the world. Ladies, update your style game with gorgeous earrings, necklaces, and other jewelry for affordable prices. And guys, you can shop for that special lady in your life too. Use discount code SPORTSREV30 for 30% off your entire order. That's SPORTSREV30 for 30% off your entire order. Use discount code at checkout at samaraandjane.com.
So there's been some news around that has come out about Washington Capitals Brendan Leipsic and a group of Winnipeg-born hockey players connected with a sexist group chat are being either let go from their teams or investigated after screenshots from their private chat were made public earlier this week. The Washington Capitals placed Winnipegger Brendan Leipsic on unconditional waivers Friday, saying the team intends to terminate the $700,000 contract he signed in July. Florida Panthers are investigating the situation, which involves one of their prospects, Jake Rodwell, who's 26 years old. So I think we all know that this is definitely out of line. It's wrong. It's gross. Does outside of their professional careers, does this deserve for them to be fired and let go and cut from teams? Where do we draw the line in this, and how does this relate to other things in major sports that have had similar situations?
Well, I think like we had a long discussion about this off air, but like I think there is a double standard when it comes to these kinds of things. Because if like Brendan Leipsic, I believe he's on his fourth team in 5 years. Like he's an up and down player. I think if we were talking about Austin Matthews or Sidney Crosby, it would be a completely different conversation. I think a slap on the wrist, like, and apology and public whatever. But I think because it's just as easy for this team to let him go and fill in another up and down player. That's what happened. So, but again, I don't want to say that we're saying or condoning the behavior, because we're not, but
100%.
I think there is a double standard, and it's unfortunate that these guys who are still young guys their lives are basically ruined. And because of stuff that got dug up.
Yeah. I totally agree. I think there is a big double standard. Like you brought up the Robert Kraft thing earlier. He was caught in a prostitution ring, and the Patriots got slapped around a little bit. These guys lost their jobs. First and foremost, you got to wonder, is this the culture of sport? So I think in some areas it is, especially around like teams like basketball, football, and hockey. But also like it goes deeper than that into like culture of society too. Like we could extend this conversation to all sorts of things. I think as a pro athlete, you are held in a higher regard in how you conduct yourselves, fairly or unfairly. You're always in the spotlight. Like we talked about tweets, from years ago before they, even started playing professionally, get dug up, just like politicians. And so it's definitely wrong. I don't think the punishment fits the crime, really.
You think it's harsher or less?
I mean, I don't know if they should get fired for it, but definitely, I don't know. That for me, I don't know if they should get fired for it because it's not like there's tons of hockey jobs out there, right? Like there's a limited amount of jobs, and you're just gonna blacklist this guy.
Well, I think even if you looked at it,
we have video of Joe Mixon hitting somebody, right?
Yeah.
And didn't he hit a woman on video and he's in the NFL?
Yeah.
And and I think, it's obviously horrible. There's two sides to every story. And you wonder how this even came out in the first place. Like, when are these chats from?
The one thing I would say is, like, if you worked for a bank and it came out, the bank would most likely let you go, right? It's not going to just be a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're, as these guys are professional athletes, they're representing their franchises. And
I don't think if it was a bank, it'd be as big of a deal.
Yeah. But they still probably let you go.
If they even found out.
Yeah, if they found out.
It's not like TD's got a guy surfing, Twitter being like, okay, I got thousands of employees. Let's look them all up. I mean, sure, they might do that when they hire you, but you know what I mean? Like, I get what you're saying. Like, it's just a tough thing. It's a stupid mistake by young guys. And it speaks to more about how men in sport view women regardless.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, we're hoping that,
we're hoping for better.
We're hoping that these guys, they learn their lesson, and maybe this will inspire other guys to learn their lessons too. With that, let's jump into the rest of the NHL. The optimism also around the NHL is that the NHL is going to return this season. This is going to finish off the season. I don't know the details of if they want to jump right into the playoffs or finish off the season and then do the playoffs.
That's a big deal. It's a big deal.
I know they're floating around lots of ideas of where they want to do it, where they want to play it out. I think they want to have a remote city for all the teams to play. I think that's the idea for NBA too. But
could you imagine having NHL and NBA finish in Vegas? How much of a gong show that would be?
That would be pretty crazy. Yeah, I think it'd be hard to monitor, and I think you'd have to split them up.
Well, yeah, you split them up, but like if you had
I mean like two different cities.
Oh.
I don't think it can handle all together.
Yeah, I don't think you could do hockey in Vegas because there's a team in Vegas.
Well, they're talked about doing hockey in Toronto, and same with the NBA. I don't know why they're floating around Toronto because it's still like
COVID central in this Canada.
COVID central, yeah. But I don't know why that's even being talked. But I don't know. Maybe that doesn't play a factor because there's no fans in the stands anyway.
Right.
But I guess the players that are living there live at their houses, so that's more comfortable. But they're all millionaires. I'm pretty sure they're all living pretty comfortable. Okay, so just like we said for the NBA, NHL, who benefits most from the shutdown? Which team is emerging from the East and the Western conferences?
I think the old guys are going to benefit the most. Like Pittsburgh, Washington in the East, Vegas potentially in the West. Even Edmonton's kind of up there. Like the teams with elder statesmen are going to benefit the most because they're given time to rest up. I mean, I think hockey is one of the leagues that is a real physical grind because there's a lot of contact. And to play 82 games plus playoffs is a lot of work on the body. So to have a break would help. To be honest, who's coming out of the East? It looks like Boston. I mean, I think we're kind of similar on this because they've been very dominant the whole season. If I had to pick a dark horse, I'm not counting out Washington. I like them a lot just because I love Ovi. And in the West, I'll go with the Blues. Again, they've kind of been. You would expect them to have a cup. What is it? Recession or hangover, but they've done really well.
Yeah.
And of course, as my dark horse, being the homer that I am, I got to pick the Jets and cross my fingers. Maybe we'll get out of the first round in reality, but
We'll line up with, I think, Vegas Knights in the first round if that's how it goes right now.
Well, I think they're floating the idea of a 20-team playoff.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah.
So 4 extra teams.
Okay.
Wow.
But hey, I guess because there's a lot of controversy about do you go by points or points per game? There's all sorts of craziness.
Yeah.
Drew, did you hear anything about what they want to do with the draft?
I haven't heard anything about that.
Okay.
I heard some stuff about mandatory face shields for everybody and no fighting, and so I don't know how that's going to go down.
Yeah, how do you think that affects the game? How do you think that affects
especially in playoff hockey? Like,
yeah,
that intensity is part of it. Without fans, I think hockey is one of the sports that benefits the most from the energy that the fans bring. And yeah, I don't know how it's going to go, but I do know that I do like the Bruins coming out of the East, even though it pains me to say that.
Not your father-in-law, though. It makes
No, not my father-in-law. He loves them. My dark horse in the East would be Philly.
Yeah.
They've really picked it up. Carter Hart looks like the real deal, their goalie. And they've always been able to put the puck in the net. It's always been keeping it out of their own net that's been tough. And in the West, the Avalanche, if you look at their goal differential, they're plus 46, which is 14 better than what the Blues are in first place.
Yeah.
And I think Nathan McKinnon gets overlooked a lot in the best player in the NHL discussion.
Yeah.
Super fast, comes from the same place as Sidney Crosby. So I think he gets overshadowed a lot. I love watching Nathan McKinnon play and Gabriel Landeskog there. And Nazem Kadri's on their team too.
Yeah, yeah.
I love Nazem Kadri. So I'd love to see Colorado go for a run. Best jerseys in the league still. So
I love it. Yeah, I got Colorado benefiting the best from this shutdown because they have so many injuries to like Rantanen, Kadri, Grubauer, and they're already a top heavy team already. So this added depth is just gonna, they're gonna be pretty deadly. I think they're gonna benefit the most. Team coming out of the East, I'm going with Sid the Kid and the Penguins. I got them coming up. They're gonna make their title run. I don't know why I'm such a big Crosby fan, but maybe because it's Jason Burge. I'm a big Jason Burge fan.
Congrats to Jason Burge too.
Congrats to Jason Burge. Yes.
I guess adopted baby.
Papa Burge. And we got to get Burge on the show. That's a definite. He's definitely a sports reverend and also a Dallas Cowboys fan. So we got to get Jason Burge on the show. And coming out of the West, this is tough.
East. You said Colorado.
No,
I said Colorado. He just said Pittsburgh Colorado. For East.
Yeah, I was saying Colorado's benefits most from this.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry. West, obviously, I love the Jets too, and I like your pick of the Blues, Joel.
We'll see. Yeah,
the Blues are going to make it. I'll say the Blues. Okay. with the Pittsburgh Penguins winning the cup. That's my prediction. All right.
Before you wrap up today, I just clicked on ESPN. NASCAR is coming back this weekend.
Boo.
I know it's boring, but it's another major thing in the States, right?
That's better than their virtual NASCAR that they've been trying to do.
Yeah.
And virtual F1 Formula, whatever it's called.
They've posted a lot of new rules to help like figure this all out, and I think that's pretty, because that's another sponsor driven thing, right? Another thing that's opening up and sports coming back, even though all they do is turn left.
Yeah.
It's another thing that Americans love. So
I had one more NHL question. Which Canadian team has the best chance to bring the cup home to Canada?
Ooh. This year or next year?
This year, yeah.
I guess it'd have to. Oh. I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm gonna say Calgary. I like them. I like Johnny Gaudreau. I like that kid.
I think I'm gonna say the Oilers, just because they have the best player out of all the Canadian teams.
I was gonna say Edmonton too, but since you said Edmonton, I'll go with the Winnipeg Jets.
Oh, didn't pick the hometown Toronto, eh?
Oh no. Do the Canucks have an actual shooting chance in your opinion, Drew?
Yeah, I think they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they'll make the playoffs too.
Yeah.
Young team. And hockey, anything can happen in the playoffs.
Yeah,
like Tampa Bay got swept last year.
Yeah, that's wild. That's
in
wild.
the first, and they won the President's Trophy, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And got swept by Columbus. And
especially with this added thing of COVID and making big changes, I think there's going to be wonky things throughout NHL playoffs.
Well, no team will have a home ice advantage, really.
That's right. Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
So
that's going to be fun. I'm excited for when all this comes back. It's going to be epic, is what I'm saying. Yep. All right, fellas. I think that's it for our show today. Did you guys do anything good in your lives this week? Any good deeds?
I jumped on this podcast with you. That was my good deed for the week.
On Sunday for Mother's Day, we actually, my wife and I drove around to all the mothers in our church and gave out carnations.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
That was our social distancing Mother's Day gift, so that was fun.
Were they surprised?
Yeah, they were all surprised, and only one of them wasn't home, so we just left it in the mailbox. But everyone else was home, and we got to see them, so that was good.
It's Selkirk, right? No one locks their doors. You could have walked right in.
Everyone locks their doors in Selkirk, believe me.
Oh yeah, that's true. I've been putting together. There's a list of few of our kids and youth that don't have any devices that they can do Zoom calls from and stuff. And this weekend is our youth conference that's happening. It's called Uprising. So we're getting all these devices out there so that we can get a bunch of kids on our Zoom youth conference. It's going to be about 1,000 kids on Zoom. And whoever added it on top of that will be on YouTube Live. And so it should be a good time. So that's the good deeds we've been working together to do. All right, boys, it's been a good one. I want to debate with you more. We definitely got to do a talk about NBA's top 100 because it's still burning a hole in my heart. So we'll get to that. Monday, we're going to do the last part of the MJ doc. And it's kind of sad, I just want that documentary to keep going. But that's what's gonna be. That's what's doing. So let's go. Say goodbye.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.